Josh Palmer, you're thinking to yourself, well, Josh Palmer just came off a pretty good game. Josh Palmer is the expert consensus wide receiver 23 right now in Fantasy Pros. Why aren't we starting him? The consensus has him over Judy. He's coming off an 8 for 106 and 10 game against Atlanta. Hold your horses with Josh Palmer. This is what I said last week about Josh Palmer. I wish I could pull it up. But I said he is the consensus had Josh Palmer at 35. I moved him up to 24, knowing that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams weren't going to be there. He did finish as the wide receiver 11, so I was off, but I was still above the consensus. But I still was saying I couldn't justify getting Josh Palmer into that top 10 or top 5. He just doesn't have the ceiling because he's not a talented wide receiver. He's good enough. He's a solid wide receiver 3. But even with 10 targets and 12 targets over the last 2 weeks, Josh Palmer's finishes the wide receiver 11 and wide receiver 31. And in the other games where he's had at least 8 targets, he finishes the wide receiver 24 and wide receiver 33. So it's not as though like the increased volume is going to get him an elite ceiling. Josh Palmer has one of the toughest matchups this week against the San Francisco 49ers secondary. So even if he draws, the majority of targets from the wide receiver position, you can't be confident in Josh Palmer.